Welcome to lesson 7 in the Get Lean course. These are the keys to success. Here's what we're going to cover. 1, why people fail to get lean, root causes of failure, and the keys to success. Part of the reasons, they think this is what training is. Someone in your face yelling at you while you are miserable, trying your darndest to burn off your body fat. That is not how this works. Here's another issue. Delicious foods everywhere and as much quantities as you can eat. And here's another one. You're holding a delicious cake and you're holding a boring salad and you're not happy that you feel like you have to eat that salad. A lot of it's a mental game, let's be honest, but why people fail to get lean? Short answer, they don't sustain a long-term calorie deficit while keeping daily protein intake high and doing regular strength training. But yeah, it seems obvious, but people don't get it. Why can't I lose weight? Because you're not in a calorie deficit. You're not in a calorie deficit for long enough. Or maybe you are for the short term, but not long term. Not long enough to see it. Maybe you're being impatient. Your body's holding on to water. But at the end of the day, you cannot maintain a weight unless you're eating the amount of calories necessary to sustain that weight. You have to be putting that energy in to maintain that weight. You're not letting the water drain out of the tub. People eat more calories than they realize because they wing it. They don't have a plan, or they eat based off of faulty hunger cues. If you're like, I'm hungry, it's time to eat, and I'm not full, I'm going to keep eating until I'm full. That's why people are overweight and obese, because they're not eating real food. They do these studies with monkeys. They give animals in labs regular food, try to get them to overeat. They won't with real whole foods. They give them standard American diet food. They overeat, they get unhealthy, they get unhappy, they get miserable, they can't stop themselves from eating. They switch them back to regular food. They don't like it at first. They don't even want to eat it. They don't recognize it as food. Eventually, rather than starve, they finally eat it. They get healthy again. They get back to normal eating. So, it helps if you eat the right foods. You can lose weight eating junk food just in smaller amounts. It's a lot harder. Wouldn't recommend it. A lot of people have a plan. They cut corners. Too many spams, too many snacks, portion sizes increase, even with BAMs. Like the difference between losing weight and not losing weight is often just like 200 or 300 calories in a day, which is really not much. Like a little, like I said, a handful of nuts is like 200 calories. 200 or 300 calories easy, depending how big the handful is. So the difference between you losing half a pound of fat a week could be a handful of nuts a day. It's often something like that. And so, yeah, it is. It's very common for people who track calories to consistently underestimate their daily intake by over 1,000 calories. And they do studies on this where people know they're being studied and they know that their reported numbers are going to be compared against their actual numbers. And people will be like, yeah, I'm having 1,500 calories a day, day after day after day, and they're having 2,500 calories. And this is common. Almost nobody overestimates it. And this is when they're trying to lose weight. And funny enough, when people are trying to gain weight and they're trying to say, eat 4,000 calories, they're gonna report more than they're actually eating. So people always seem to report a number that favors their goal. So a person who's trying to eat 4,000 says, I'm eating 4,000, they're actually eating 3,500. They're not eating enough. They're eating 3,000. Some people just have bigger appetites than others. They'll always need to be more diligent to keep their appetite in check. This is me. My brother Joe, he has a hard time gaining weight. They used to yell at him in football because he was so lean and so light. He'd have to strap 2.5 pound weights to his legs before getting weight in, and he was still too light. And they'd yell at me, why can't he eat? I don't know, he sleeps all day. Get up and eat breakfast. He would try to eat it all in one meal and throw it up. Like, it was pretty funny because I could gain weight, no problem. I could lose weight easily too, and he just couldn't gain weight, couldn't eat, didn't have that hunger. Faulty hunger cues, appetite dysregulation. This is huge. So choosing foods and portions based off of how you feel. People eat emotionally. People eat based off of feeling, and that's part of the problem. Your appetite is dysregulated because we're eating foods that aren't real foods. This works fine. In fact, if you're eating whole foods, meats, eggs, fruits, veggie, your appetite is going to regulate itself. Our bodies will naturally eat the right amounts of food. Our brains will know we're getting the right amount of protein. We're getting the right amount of nutrients. We only have access to these foods. We're not getting those crackhead foods. With processed food, this leads to an extra 500 calories consumed to reach satiety. They do studies on this. Group 1 gets whole foods. Group 2 gets processed foods. They tell them, just eat as much as you want. Eat as much until you feel full, until you feel satisfied. 500 calories more per day in the processed foods group to get the same level of satiety. That's a pound of body fat per week. So that's why I say the easy thing you do is cut back or cut out processed foods, because that's an easy pound of body fat per week. Then what causes faulty hunger cues? Modern foods are heavily processed, they're hyperpalatable, they're high in fats, carbs, sugar, salt, preservatives, colors, texture. They're all designed to get you to overconsume. They're not bad, they're delicious. They're great to have special occasions, but keep them out of your house. They are bad in large quantities, but so is water. So just be very careful. It's very easy to go overboard in these foods that are just super addictive, super tasty. I call them dangerously delicious. If I eat something, it's like, whoo, that is dangerously delicious. I want to eat all of that. Yeah, watch out for those foods. Don't keep them in your house. Labeling high food calories as bad and whole food calories as good. There are no bad foods. You can eat anything and still get lean. The devil's in the dosage. Labeling something as bad makes you want it more. This is mind mastery. That's bad. Don't do it. It's bad. Well, then you want it. Like, I don't know what it is, but when something's bad, it makes you want it more, doesn't it? Eventually you just cave and indulge. Like, you're having a tough time. You're like, I stink. I'm a loser. I'm just going to do something bad. I'm already so bad. I'm going to do something worse. So then you go to the bad foods. So don't call foods bad. Don't call other foods good. Don't call yourself bad. Don't be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with love. Pick yourself up. You're doing fine. So if you do cave and indulge, then you just feel worse. You feel guilty for doing something bad. You go back to more and more. It's just a cycle of feeling bad and overindulging and feeling bad and overindulging. You got to stop it. You got to recognize it and stop it in its tracks. Feelings of guilt won't help you change a habit. Remove guilt from your life. It serves no useful purpose. People use guilt to control other people. The church uses guilt to control people in the church. Didn't work on me. I never felt guilty about anything. And I'm happier for it. Guilt, people try to guilt me and I just pretend. I didn't really care. But some people really do feel the effects of guilt. Don't use guilt to try to drive behavior change. It's just a negative emotion that doesn't really serve any purpose. When you have feelings of guilt, recognize them. Feel compassion to stop in its tracks. Catch yourself using guilt on others as well. You'll find that. I catch myself trying to make my kids feel guilty. I'm like, don't want to do that. So I catch myself. Try to be better next time. Don't use guilt to try to control someone. Talk to them. Just talk to them like they have brains and that you can give them good reasons to change their behavior rather than just guilting them into feeling bad. So, more root causes of failure. Starve, binge, eating cycle. This is where you skip meals, you severely restrict calories on some days, and then you eat everything in sight the next. Very common, even for people that intermittent fast. That first meal back, you got to be careful because it's very easy to make it be like 3 meals in one. And then that just defeats the whole purpose. Boredom, mindless eating, lazy overeating. You're not hungry, you eat to fill time or while watching TV or scrolling, etc. It's very common to say, don't watch TV, don't be on your phone when you're eating. Focus on the meal, be present in the moment, enjoy it, chew slowly, take your time. But yeah, eating, I get this a lot in the evenings. I'm bored. I'm like, I want to eat something all the time. I catch myself doing it and still I often indulge. But, rather than reaching for processed foods, I'll reach for a piece of ham, an apple, sliced apples, carrots. Stress coping. Eating is a great stress reliever. Getting stuffed feels like a warm blanket, especially with carbs. People that are stressed, their body's running on carbs. Your body wants to replenish carbs because it can only hold onto so much stored glucose. And it wants to have that high burning energy source for fight or flight situations. So your body's always looking to refill its glucose stores. And when you're always stressed, it's draining those glucose stores. If you're not stressed, your body is running on body fat. That's what we want. We want to be running on body fat throughout the day, and especially while sleeping. We only want to be burning carbs and glucose in purposefully stressful situations like working out or if you're actually into fighting or boxing. But most of the time, we want to just be chill and running on body fat. So lower stress to do that. Social settings, happy eating. This is me. I love eating a ton with other people around. I don't know. It just makes me feel loved. There's yummy food and drinks everywhere. Someone's got to eat it. And I'm always the one, hey, somebody's got to finish that. Okay, I'll do it. And I will crush food at parties. And I will crush foods at dinners with family and holidays. And you can still lose weight while doing that. You just make up for it with BAMs during the week. Reward eating, used after completing a task, workout, long day at work. My dad was a big time reward eater because he worked his ass off. He was a blue collar guy, and he'd come home and he'd have himself 2.5, 3 BAMs for dinner every night. Like he would go ham. We were like, geez, Dad, take it easy. Oh, leave me alone. I'm starving. That was his way of rewarding himself. And he was 75 pounds overweight. But a fear of a body type, it could be a fear of being fat or being skinny that's driving you to eat a certain way or to avoid certain foods entirely. But yeah, this comes down to mental mind mastery, kind of working these out. And then, medical conditions, medications, their side effects. Increased appetite is a common one, caused by depression, anxiety, any of the medications. So what do we do about these? If you're in a starve binge cycle eating, have a smart fasting plan, especially your first meal, breaking the fast. Know exactly how much you're going to eat, stick to it. Don't just wing it, because your appetite, once you have a bite, floodgates open, you're going to want to eat it all. So you're bored, mindless, don't eat snacks, especially while on your screen. And if you do have a snack, eat eggs, fruits, veggies. If you're stressed out, healthy stress relievers include exercise, walk, yoga, sleeping, meditation. A lot of times people are at night are eating when they should be going to sleep. And a lot of times what they're eating is going to make it harder to go to sleep. So yeah, go to bed. Social settings, happy eating. It's fine if not done too often. Otherwise, stick to BAMs. I've never gone into a social setting and said, I'm going to limit what I'm eating today. Sometimes I went in intending to do that and I never follow it. I am a social eater. I am a happy guy eating everything in sight on vacations, at parties, and holidays. Reward eating. Set a portion size for treats. Otherwise, just fill up on BAMs. Reward yourself with steamed vegetables with a nice hot sauce on top. Fear of a body type. Master your GERCO. Master your mind. Gratitude, courage, grit, compassion. Consider therapy. Unpack what's driving this fear. And then medical conditions. Seek alternatives to medication. If you're on SSRIs, switch to psilocybin. Just as effective, if not more. None of the side effects. More keys to success. Make a pact. Stick to it 80% of the time. Don't feel guilty if you go off track. Practice compassion. Feel gratitude that you have an abundance of delicious food. Your ancestors didn't. They did not. Have courage to own up to your missteps and the wisdom to identify and address the root cause. Learn from your mistakes. Don't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. A lot of times, is it because you have food in the house? Is it because you didn't have a plan? Figure out why. And ask people in the group. We're here to help. Get excited to show how gritty you are. That you can take a punch, smile, ask for more, because they only make you better. It's gritty to not eat and to endure some hunger. And then you get to the point where the hunger's gone. You're like, I'm not hungry anymore. Yes, you can learn to get through hunger and realize that you're not really hungry. It's just your body's expecting to eat. And because you're used to eating at a certain time or certain way or certain foods. So your body's preparing for that. You don't give it to it. You suffer a little bit. Your ego and your monkey mind cry and whine and complain, but then that goes away. You're like, wow, I feel fine. And I haven't eaten for 8, 12, 16 hours. It's empowering to know that you can go a long time without eating. I do that a lot when I'm traveling. It's a skill. It's a skill to not eat, to skip meals, and then to not go overboard afterwards. Always remember, self-improvement is an expression of self-love. You are worthy of happiness and reaching your full potential. Striving to improve yourself, your body, and your health helps you do this. You can't reach your full potential if you're tired, if you're in pain, if you're sad. Love yourself no matter what, just as you do your children or family. Be kind to yourself, always. Be patient as you learn the skill of getting and staying lean. Self-improvement is an expression of self-love. You are worthy of happiness and reaching your full potential. Striving to improve yourself, your body, and your health helps you do this. That is a fit and prime philosophy, and I'll take that to the bank.